How y'all doing, everybody? Welcome to the Bayou Ballers podcast. We are back with another episode on a Wednesday night. I am your host, Tay Visuals. Got my brother over there, Trey. How you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. Getting off of work. I know my boss about to call in probably like 30, 40 minutes, but ain't been good, been busy,
hmm
staying healthy and uh, trying to enjoy as much sports as I can, bro. How about you?
I did notice last year you did want your courtside ticket to the conference finals with the Knicks. You was a year early on that. Now they make their run to the finals, but we're gonna get into that, man. But um disclaimer for all the viewers today, I do have baby girl with me. She's rolling with me. She in the living room watching a little TV show. But if I pop in and out, Trey will take over the hosting duties. But other than that, we're gonna get into it, brother. And we're gonna open up with Mr. Shea Gilgis Alexander winning his first MVP and him being the third MVP of the OKC Thunder in their team's short history.
hmm
KD was the first, Russell second, Shea is the third, and Harden won it with Houston. So
hmm
they got some young MVPs coming out of OKC. So, did you have a problem with this pick?
No, man. The only problem I have is it waited so long. Like I
Mm,
don't know, we was coming up, man. I think it was like I felt like it was always like the first round, that first home game for the
right.
MVP, and they have them raising the trophy in front of the home crowds and having everybody be able to celebrate that moment with that player. And like I feel like I don't know in recent years it went from doing that to the press conference that they have. Remember KD's infamous, you the real MVP
All
quote
right.
during his MVP run in OKC, and then now we just don't even have really any of it. And it kind of sucks. Like I'm hoping they do something for game two, but to wait until the Western Conference Finals was kind of crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the player who got it, I mean, him and Jokic kind of been the two best players in the league this year. And after finishing as a runner-up last year, and being able to bounce back, have OKC with the top record in the league again,
Mm-hmm.
be the scoring leader. He deserved it, man. Like I know Jokic still put up MVP caliber numbers. Giannis did as well. But this was the year for Shea, and I think in a way his playoff run and what he was able to do up to this point kind of helped to secure some votes. Obviously, beating Nikola Jokic. Like part of me feels like if Denver had won Game 7, I wouldn't have been surprised at all if they would have gave it to Jokic, and I think that would have been his fourth MVP or something like that. But man,
Mm-hmm.
SCJ winning it was good. He got to stop being a free throw merchant and a flopping artist. But other
Hey,
than that,
man.
man, this is I don't know who just died with the coach, but just got an ESPN alert. Um, but I like it though. What about
I was
oh snap?
what?
Jim Irsay just passed away.
I don't know if the
Owner of the
coach.
Colts. Yeah.
Dang.
Oh snap! They just had the
How?
owners meetings. Like when this happened? Like this happened at the own. Oh Lord, we have to investigate that a little bit later because like they just finished up owners meetings today. So like,
Damn.
was he there? Like
So
I don't know.
breaking news: Jim Irsay has passed away.
Damn.
Pro- Damn. How old was Jim Irsay?
Probably in his 60s, maybe.
Let me see. I think he was older than that, huh? Let me
Probably in his
see.
probably close to his 70s. I mean, like I don't know. He's been old my whole life, but I just figured it was the drugs or alcohol that made him look that way. So
Uh, all right, I'm sure they're gonna have more details about all this things by Adam Schefter has announced that death of their legendary owner. That's our first time getting some breaking news on the show, man. Crazy.
that's crazy.
It's sad that it was news like that, but
Right.
we prevail. Hopefully, blessed to his family, the Colts um organization. But we prevail, and back to the MVP with Shea. I think it was rightfully so. Shea did his thing this whole year. He carried that team, and man, he looking real well out there. Everybody, I
Mhm.
know everybody say the free throw merchant. I do hate that. Excuse me, y'all. I do hate watching stuff like that because I really look forward to the refs like not giving people bailing people out, like especially when
Mhm.
they're initiating contact. And it's not just I'm not just targeting Shea as even though we know when it gets to the playoffs and high level basketball and we get to tone in on certain players and
Yeah,
see them game in and game out and people get to pick apart their game. I hate that period, like throughout the
yeah,
season. Like I think refs should I don't know, maybe they do go through a training each offseason, but they need to get better with looking at these guys initiating contact and falling, flopping. Because I think when an offensive player just nine times out of 10 run into initiate contact with a player and falls, they're gonna call a foul. Like
yep.
it doesn't matter. Like they might not call a foul once, but they're gonna call it the other 9 times. And
Mhm.
I just get frustrated looking at that all the time. Like he had 7 free throws like in the first 4 minutes. Like, come on now, I get it, but he's an aggressive player. He operates inside the 3 point arc. He does a lot of shimmying and pump fakes, and he's a slithery guy. But we got to stop with the touch fouls. Like when
Yeah,
When he fell and Anthony Edwards like he tried to run up on Anthony Edwards and Anthony like gave him a little tip
right,
in. Bro, what's the difference? Anthony Edwards deliberately pushed LeBron like full off after he did
right.
the
Yeah,
assist twice, multiple times, and they didn't call a foul. But he give a little tap to Shea and it's called a foul. What's the difference to me? It's because LeBron 260. But call a foul. It don't call it or you call it. Just be consistent.
yeah.
That's all I
And
want to
I
see
say
from the ref.
this, you can't let OKC defense commit assault on the other end,
Oh, that's how
and
they play,
then
bro.
right.
Okay,
So
see
like that's
played
how,
it
and
like
like I
that.
find like look, because I love the way they play in defense, or at least for
Yeah,
the most part in these playoffs, they've been allowing some of these defensive teams to defend
I
and
love
do
that.
a little bit more hand checking and stuff like that. But like just keep it consistent. You got to call it both ways. Especially this late. Like I can see in the first round, you
Mhm.
probably still recovering from the regular season, so you kind of still calling that. But by the
Yeah,
time we get here, it's our final four. These people about to vie for a championship.
yeah, we
We
not
need
letting
the
the
whistles
refs.
to kind of tighten a little bit. So,
Yeah,
but you know, let us not poo-poo on SGA. I mean, he's more than just that, right? Like,
hell yeah,
he
top
had a
five
hell of a
player.
season. He doesn't necessarily rely on getting to the free throw line like some players do,
Yeah,
but
he's gonna get his buckets regardless from that mid
mhm,
range and inside the lane. But these are two physical teams. OKC plays physical defense, and they benefit from playing physical defense because if they come out the gate, the refs aren't going to call every foul on OKC because that's how they play, no
mhm,
matter what. But Minnesota is a physical team as well. They like
yeah,
we got one of the most physical players in the league, and Randall Anthony Evans is a physical guy. Jaden McDaniels ain't no slouch. Rudy is a big body. He's not a physical player,
mhm.
but he takes up a lot of space in that lane. So we'll see how this series goes. Who do you have in the series?
I have OKC in 7. I would
Mhm.
love for Minnesota to win, but I just have like kind of early in my predictions. I had it being a OKC Knicks finals, so I'm just gonna stick to that. And I got
Okay.
OKC in 7.
I'm gonna take OKC in 5.
5.
Um,
Oh Lord.
OKC in 5, brother. I think Minnesota is very fortunate um of beating the Warriors of Steph getting hurt.
Fair.
Mind you, I think it would have been a tough series with Steph. I think it probably would have went 7. I knew it definitely wouldn't have went 5. Hey baby, but I think OKC is going to dispatch of those guys. I think
Okay.
Randall had his best playoff. I see, baby. I'm gonna come see you later here. Come on. I'm coming. I'm talking. Okay. All right. But yeah, I think OKC is going to dispatch of the guys. I think they're going to have Minnesota is going to play them tough. Like they played tough in game 1, but I think just OKC's depth and
Right.
just the emergence of Shea, man. He tough, man. And in a game, I think Jalen Williams is gonna bring it a game where he's gonna help Shea out when Shea is struggling, kind of like he did in that Denver game. I think he
Yeah.
could have got rid of Denver earlier if Mark Daigneault didn't go away from Jalen Williams in game 5 when he
Mm-hmm.
had it going. I think he had like 34 in the fourth quarter, but he
Mm-hmm.
kept going. When the game then went to overtime, he kept going to Shea down the stretch, and Shea didn't have it. And I'm looking at the screen like, oh my God, what are you doing? But like, let him finish the game. Like
Right.
I get Shay's the MVP, but sometimes you gotta take a back seat sometimes. But Yeah, I think Minnesota back to back conference championships. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat OKC, but I just think OKC is the overall better team. I think
Right.
Minnesota is farther than they would should have been this as you know,
Thanks,
I picked
Susan.
the Lakers to beat them, and I thought it was an upset them beating the Lakers
Yeah.
because I thought the Lakers' best players, um, really on Luka and JJ Redick,
Yeah.
but
It's kind of like
they didn't play up to what they should have played,
right.
and I
You
think
know what it
Minnesota took
remind me
advantage of
of?
that. What?
It remind me of like the Pacers run last year
Uh
a
huh.
little bit,
Hmm.
where you know they obviously beat the Bucks because Giannis was already
Yeah,
injured, and then Dame gets injured, and then you go up against the Knicks, and then
and they get
OG
injured,
basically messes up his hamstring.
and Jalen
Jalen Brunson
Brunson.
comes down with an injury, right? And you win that, and then you get up against the number one seed Celtics, and they just wipe the floor with you because you were probably a team that had a good run, but you just
Hmm.
weren't. You just didn't meet that talent level. So yeah, to your point, I can see why you would pick OKC in five, and that
Hmm.
Minnesota probably overachieving right now with their roster as constructed,
Hmm.
and they running into the buzzsaw that is OKC. So I can see from your standpoint why you have it at five.
Yeah, and I definitely got to give props to Julius Randle though. He's
Mm-hmm.
a big reason why they at what Ant's going to be. And Ant hasn't even really been like super amazing in these playoffs. He's been good and great, but he hasn't had like a wild game where you like, oh shit, he's really like
Yeah, he hasn't been
bombing on it.
consistent.
Yeah, he's been real consistent, and the whole team been consistent. And Julius Randle overcoming his playoff struggles that he's had throughout his short playoff career,
Mm-hmm.
it really has been great for them. So we're gonna move over to the Eastern Conference, man. With the Knicks versus Pacers, you already dropped who you had winning this, the New York Knicks. But are you surprised that these teams are here? Granted that a lot of people saw Cleveland and the Celtics just on a crash course to meet each other this whole
Yeah, I didn't see the Pacers making it this far at all. Honestly, I thought they were going
again.
to be a first round exit. I
Hmm.
actually had this being Knicks versus Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I wasn't surprised with the Knicks beating the Celtics. Granted, almost every game they were down 20 points at one point in the game. Obviously, you lose Jason Tatum to a torn Achilles, so
Hmm.
one could argue that the Celtics would have won this series with the
No.
healthy Jason Tatum. But remember last year, I felt like if the Knicks had made it to the conference finals against Boston, they were going to win. And that was just with them having Jalen Brunson offensively.
They
And now
was
you
gonna
add
win.
Jalen Brunson, you got OG, you have Mikal Bridges, you have Carl Anthony Towns, who can be a matchup problem for some bigs, especially if the Pacers want to go to a smaller lineup. A guy like Miles Turner, who is a phenomenal rim protector, now having to play a lot more on the perimeter to defend a Carl Anthony Towns, um, which will open lanes for Jalen Brunson, who likes to attack, get to the
Hmm.
lane, just like a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. There's going to be some lanes for Mikal Bridges to get in that mid-range. OG Anunoby using his athleticism. I think they got a lot of good perimeter defenders to throw at Halliburton and Pascal Siakam a little bit, and maybe a little bit better bench that I trust. Coach Thibodeau doesn't really use his bench a lot, but the players he does use, like he maximizes their abilities. So I can see the Knicks doing really well.
Hmm.
Want to see? I think Josh Hart's going to be the X factor in this series. He just has to be an effort guy. Can
No, he don't
he
got
help?
no
You know,
problem doing that. That's
right?
what he
Can he
is.
help extend possessions? Like if a
Offensive
Miles Turner,
rebounds.
right? Like if a Miles Turner, right, is going to have to not be in the paint because he has to defend the Carlton Towns.
Hmm.
Can Josh Hart take advantage of that and getting offensive rebounds and keeping offensive possessions alive? He's probably going to get a lot of assignments defensively, whether that be
Hmm.
Pascal or Halliburton. So how does he navigate that? He's going to be a really key guy for them. And I can see a guy like Benedict McThurin being a key guy for the Pacers. I think he's gonna go seven, like last year, win seven. I think he's gonna go seven this year, and I think the Knicks are gonna get it handled in the guard just because I just think they have the better team. They have
Hmm.
more offensive firepower, which is weird to say about a Tom Thibodeau coach team having offensive firepower. But between Brunson, Cat, and then you could throw in Mikal Bridges or OG on any given night. I think they just have a little bit more than what the Pacers um, can be able to do collectively. So,
Okay. It's pretty tough picking this, man. The Pacers, I disagree on the depth part. Would you say you kind of like trust the Knicks depth more, which is Deuce
mhm,
McBride, Mitchell Robinson, and a little bit of campaign
mhm,
sprinkled in. I think the Pacers, man, they go 10 deep, bro. Like, and they've been in that and they stay fresh. This is how they run up and down the court all game. Like their star players are not playing 40 minutes a game like the Knicks.
true.
Yeah, baby. Okay, go get your Gatorade. Go get your juice. You want me to get it? All right, I'm gonna get it. Let me be right back, brother.
Nah, nah, you good, bro. You know, parental duties. I don't quite understand because I don't have any, but my partner does a great job. But no, I'll let him know when he kind of gets back too. But you know, he makes a good point in terms of the depth, what they have. I would say what's funny, like when he mentioned the Pacers depth, I was thinking about that T.J. McConnell, Cameron Payne matchup. Just really two effort guys that can generate some offense on their own. Obviously, TJ is going to get it more done of pushing tempo, getting the ball to guys like Pascal when they do kind of the stagger lineup where Halley's on the bench, but Pascal's in the game. I can see TJ McConnell being just that kind of guy that pushes that tempo for them, going up against a guy like Cam Payne who's going to push tempo for the Knicks and kind of do some herky jerky stuff that probably the worst shooting form I've seen, and I'm a southpaw myself, and so seeing that just makes me sick, to
Yeah.
be quite honest with you. But like that matchup is going to be fun too because they're kind of like the same type of player, in a way. When we kind of talking about like the bench matchups,
Mhm.
and like Benedict Mathurin and Deuce are kind of the same. Where those are the guys that come in and their job is to shoot. Like ain't nothing else. Like you here to score. We don't need you trying to pass the ball to nobody. We ain't even trying to ask you to be our top defender. You just a guy that's supposed to be like a heat check for our offense. And then
Mhm.
on defense, or then on the big guys, you got Obi Toppin, who was a New York draft pick, got traded to the Pacers, and Mitchell Robinson. Seeing how he maybe holds down the fort a little bit as their rim protector. Will he? What does it look like if Mitchell Robinson's in the game, but Miles Turner is out of the game? How does that look? How can Obi Toppin,
Well,
take advantage of that
Thomas Bryant
situation?
Thomas Bryant gonna have to handle Mitchell because Mitchell is he's a hell of a offensive rebounder, best in the league.
Hmm.
Even though he came off that injury, it's gonna be a tough series, man. It's hard for me to pick against the Knicks because they're top. I think their top level talent is better um than the Pacers. I agree. Jalen Brunson and Tyrese, the way those guys are playing right now is, I think most people will say Jalen Brunson is a better player, but the way they're playing in the
Hmm.
playoffs, they're damn near the same right now. Because Jalen wasn't as great against the Celtics. Same
Sure.
thing like I said against, and he wasn't like amazing, but he was good in the fourth quarters. And
Hmm.
that size from Boston obviously was hindered him in scoring. But I think the Pacers, they have Nimhard, Matherin, and TJ McConnell, who's gonna pretty be much taking that assignment on Jalen Brunson. And McConnell, he's a pest, man. He gonna operate soon as he get in the game, he's gonna pick Jalen Brunson up the whole court, not even his
Hmm.
feet. And we're gonna see how if that wears him down. But Jalen Brunson, he plays way bigger than his size. So I
Yeah.
think McConnell's gonna have a tough time on him once he gets to half court. Jalen Brunson gonna dip that shoulder, that forearm into him, and they're gonna have to put somebody big on him. So I think Nimhard gonna check him. But with all that being said, it seemed like it's the Knicks year, but I ain't gonna go against the Pacers, man. I'm gonna pick those Pacers at 7, bro.
Well, had
I'm
you
gonna pick
picked the
them.
Knicks, I was gonna put a good word in with you for people with Stephen A. Smith. But you picked the
Say it.
Pacers.
All I
So
need is
maybe
all I need is Bayou Baller's courtside tickets, not no disrespect by himself up there. I need Bayou Ballers courtside, man. That's what I need. But we're gonna move on as we proceed to a little bit of NBA offseason trade market
Hmm.
going on. And they got some movement that we expect, especially with KD. We
Hmm.
know with the Suns, they're in shambles. Giannis might be on the move. So everybody get up
Talked
there.
about it.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody get up there. We've been calling this all year. That passive aggressive stuff. They say you're supposed to have a meeting. I think it was this week.
But yeah, I think
This
it was this week.
middle of the week, yesterday. Or it's probably happening today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, about the direction of the team. We know the direction of the team. Dame is hurt next year. They don't have any assets to do. If he wants to stay there, he's gonna have to have that Steph year where Steph broke his hand, Clay was out, and they had to reset. And they got the first, and they got the third pick, and they pick Wise. No, the second pick, and they pick
They
Wise.
had the second pick and they picked Wiseman. Yeah.
The Edwards draft, basically.
Yep.
So they're gonna have to have that type of year if he wants to be there. But obviously, they're not gonna have a top 3 pick if Giannis is playing, especially in the
Yeah, but they
East.
don't control. They don't control their picks.
Yeah.
Remember,
So
New
that
Orleans got their pick.
so they're gonna have to ship guys off if they want to get anything back in return, which is basically Bobby Portis. Brooke Lopez is a free agent, I believe.
Free
Gary
agent. Yeah.
Trent is a free. And they don't really have much. So
Nope.
I think it'll be best for both of them to move on. Me personally, for me, obviously the Bucks don't want to do it, but the East is so weak, man. Like Giannis might be able to get them to the second round next year. With Tatum being out for the for themselves, they regroup and get somebody over there with them. They don't gotta be. You don't gotta be
Yeah.
nobody elite. It could just be some good role players, and Giannis might take them to the second round or something like that. Because
Mhm.
man, the East is it's just not too good over there right now. They don't have no dominant team, and not to say the West has a dominant team, but they have
Right.
dominant teams like
Right.
multiple teams. Like if you throw like the Timberwolves over to the East, they gonna be in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Knicks and Pacers, I believe. So damn, it's tough over there. But what you see going on with the Bucks, and we'll move on to some other trade targets.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of, hit on this, just really talking about, this being a
Throughout,
big year
yeah,
for Giannis and how he, without saying it, but he was kind of throwing that passive aggressive of, if they want to trade me, that type of stuff. Like
yeah,
we know you want out, bro. Like you can
right.
stop it.
You saw it
And they
coming.
got some really good teams on the list. I mean, I've seen the Heat, I've seen the Warriors, I've seen the Rockets, I've seen the Spurs. And of course, I love the Spurs. Would love to see that happen.
Hmm.
With them having the second overall pick, the 14th overall pick, having good players like Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson, where from a competitive standpoint, there isn't a reason, right, for Milwaukee to lose because they don't control their own pick. So to be able to, maybe we can give them the 14th overall pick and a few players that could, play for them that are on favorable deals. So they feel like they can still compete and they have some future first round picks in the treasure chest because they don't own their own for, I think, the next 5 drafts. That might be appeasing to them. So, a lot's going to depend on, like you mentioned, the meeting. A lot's going to depend on what Giannis says. Like if he's like, "Hey y'all just trade me, y'all get the best deal." Well,
Hmm.
I think the Bucks will really get a king's ransom for Giannis. But if he's like, "Trade me here, I want to go here,"
What is
well, then
here?
that
That's
significant. I
name
would
here.
say
You
from
can play
reports that
you
say he
you
wants to
play
be in a place
Giannis.
with no tax.
You
From
play
reports saying
Giannis, and
he,
I'll play the Bucks.
you say I play
You
Giannis.
Giannis, and I'm the Bucks. We're gonna see how this conversation go. And I'm gonna be realistic of how the Bucks will act.
I'm serious. I'm gonna say this. I want to play in a place with no taxes.
Hmm.
So it's Miami or San Antonio for me. Those are the two spots,
Hmm.
and that's where I'm going. I don't really feel like playing anywhere else. Sure, if you want to fight this out, I guess I can play this season with y'all, but I want out. And I'm telling y'all right now, I want this to be as amicable as possible. I did a lot for
Hmm.
this city. I feel like I have every right to look elsewhere. And yes, I want the team to do well, but I also want what's best for me. And these are the two places that I feel like in my point in career, I can make some things happen. So that's where I'm leaning on going.
We definitely understand that. Definitely respect that, Giannis. You brought a championship here. You're homebred, homegrown. You've been nothing but a professional here. All the records you set here. Um, in Miami and San Antonio, I'm sure we could work out a deal with one of those teams. But you did say you are open to no state tax. Dallas, Houston, those are good teams who no state tax over there as well.
Mhm.
Um, Orlando, that's in Florida, that's no state tax as well.
Mhm.
So would you be open to Dallas, Houston, or Orlando? I know Orlando's probably down on the list, but Dallas or Houston, they're good teams, got a good foundation over there. We can get them back in return and still have their team ready to win when you get over
Mhm.
there. How do you look at those teams, Houston and
Oh,
Dallas?
I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll say no to Dallas. Just we're brothers in this league. I didn't really appreciate how the things went down with Luca, and I honestly want to play with an organization like that. Houston is promising. By all means, add them to the list. They were the second overall seed this past season. I think I could be that missing piece for them. And if there's a way, that I could get there, good coaching, good foundation. I'm there as well. So like I said, I'm open to certain teams, but they're that I feel are ready to compete for championships and have some really promising talent. But I'm not going anywhere where I feel like we really have a lot of work to go towards. And I'm telling you that if you feel like that's the best place that you can get the best assets, well, um, I don't know how things might go, but I don't think it'll be something to my liking. That's all I can really say when it comes to places like Orlando or Dallas. I just think they're far away. And I want to be in a position at my age. And what it means for my family, what it means for my career, I want to be able to compete. And so I said Miami, San Antonio, and I throw Houston in there, especially
Okay.
Houston.
Okay, we definitely can work with that. We'll definitely be on. We'll definitely contact those teams. And as you know, you're a prominent player in this league. Everybody will call us since this news is out that you looking to move on. We will accept calls from everyone. Because as an organization, we have to do what's best for us as well. We have to accept those calls, and I know you'll do what's best for you. You and your agent, you'll put out the team that you want to go to. But we do have to take those calls from every team who calls because, as you know, most teams will be calling who can make the trade. So we will accept those calls. We will put those teams first for you, and we'll see how it goes. And hopefully, we can get this thing done amicably.
Mhm.
And both of us are two happy campers because we love you over here, man. We're sad to see you go, but
Mhm.
we're gonna try to make it right for you and get you to a destination that you like. So,
Yeah.
good talk, good talk.
Yeah. You know
Um,
that report. You know that report gonna come out though. Like right after this, it's gonna be. Look, Giannis says Houston,
he
San
wants to go.
Antonio,
Yeah,
Miami.
that's it. That's
That's
all. That's
it.
it. That's the only report.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
it.
Hopefully it doesn't turn out like Dame with Portland because Dame said Miami and that's it. But they don't have no assets. Like all they got
Hmm.
is Tyler Hero and Bam. If Milwaukee trades Giannis to Miami, I will figure it'll be around Andrew Wiggins now because they have a big contract with him.
Yeah.
But why the hell would Milwaukee want that? Like, let's be real. Giannis
Right
probably would
there.
want to go over there with Hero and Bam. Um, yeah, I'm coming. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's how I look at it. Those teams, I don't mind those teams though. I think if Dallas was open to trading that number one pick, would you trade the number one pick for Giannis?
Nope, I
Why not?
wouldn't. Oh, I'm gonna put it this way. I would do it in the sense of Nico put a timeline for the Dallas Mavericks that they were a year or two away from a championship, and he felt like getting an AD, hopefully building around Kyrie, who probably be back later in the season, probably post All Star break.
Mhm.
Um, I could be convinced, like if I really feel like we're in win now mode, to go get him, especially if that gets me Giannis versus, San Antonio might say, "Hey, Milwaukee, we can't give you the two. Like we really want to keep that number two overall pick, and we'll probably give you this or that." But they like, we really need Cooper Flag, so or somebody of that talent. We're not getting that type of talent at number 14. You own a lot of decent teams picks in the future years. So we're never going to be in a position to get a player like that. So I could theoretically see Milwaukee playing a hardball, especially if Giannis is open to going to Dallas. And it's like Giannis has put 4 or 5 teams out that he's interested in going to. And if you want to secure the deal, the best way to do it is to give us that top
Keep
pick.
going, brother. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, you're good. I think if the best way you can do it is doing that top pick, based on what Nico said the timeline is for them in getting a championship, you almost have to do it. But I will say, Nico went from being the most hated person, trading Luka, right, to being regarded as a genius when they got the top overall pick. I can't even fathom what he'd be called if he traded away Cooper Flag. I also think there's a possibility because here's the thing: there's talks that San Antonio may want the number 1 overall pick,
I ain't getting it.
and I could see a pathway where you trade the second, the 14th, or you take the second overall pick, the 14th pick, and maybe some other future picks from San Antonio, so they get number 1, and you say, well, Dylan Harper's nice, but I got some young guards. I don't need him. I really don't need pick 2 and 14. I'll go get Giannis with those picks and package what I got from San Antonio. So there's a pathway, but all to say, I would consider it because I'm also got to think about Nico's job security in a way, I guess. And bringing Giannis automatically catapults them back into the title picture, as opposed to I don't think a Cooper Flag does. I think he's a really talented player, but that's going to be AD's team, right? Then Kyrie eventually comes back, you would think, because I think he might be a free agent. I'm not sure. I don't know if he has a player option or whatever.
Kyrie
But
is a free agent right now, but I assume they're
okay,
going to get a deal
yeah,
done.
I think they're
Well,
going to
he'll be
bring
a
him
free
back,
agent this
right?
year, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how does that work for him? How does that work for Cooper Flag's development? I mean, I can see him in his camp wanting to go to a team where he can really be a young guy. Because Dallas isn't in a rebuild, right? Their general manager said he made that move for a championship. So it can't be, well, we got to go through the growing pains and figure out how Cooper fits. Like he has to be ready in a sense to fit wherever Dallas is going. So Giannis gets you a lot closer to a championship than Cooper Flag does. So maybe. And depending on the teams that's vying for Giannis, right? That number 1 overall pick is the most enticing thing you have, and probably the best thing you have, because you don't like what players does the Mavs have? You say, well, I will trade these players to help. Like they don't have that. Houston has players that they can incorporate. San Antonio has players. Miami has players. Even the Pelicans have players that they could throw in. Um, Sorry, that was my boss right there. So we probably have to wrap up soon. But anyways,
All right.
the number 1 overall pick is I think is Dallas's only asset to give them the best advantage. So they're gonna probably, I mean, they might have to use it. Like, would you like what about you? Like, would you use the number 1 overall pick and say, hey, give me Giannis and bypass the Cooper Flag?
If I was Dallas, hell yeah. What are we
Okay.
talking about? Like, come
Okay.
on, man. We talking about. I don't like how people talk about Giannis like is he a win now piece? He's 30. He win now and he's win future. Like he's gonna be good. Like for the next 5. Is 5 years the future? Oh, I'm crazy. Like
I think 5
35
years.
years
Yeah.
old, Giannis is gonna be still great. Like what are we talking about here? Like yeah, I'm not gonna compare him to KD and Curry. Them they're 38, 37. LeBron 41, well 40. They're good. They're great right now. Like Giannis is gonna be amazing in 5 years. And we talking about teams. Cooper Flag, if you get drafted, you're a rookie. You probably tied to a team for 7 years based on that rookie contract. But let me pull this up before we get you out of here. This is boss call. I'm gonna pull this up for you, and I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you a trade and ask, would you do this trade?
Okay.
This was San Antonio. Devin, you see this?
I can see it a little bit. Yeah, I see Devin Vassell. I see Stephon
Castle.
Castle. I'm no. Like,
Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, Jeremy Shohan, and 4 first-round picks
No.
for Giannis.
No.
No.
I would do
And this is a
Devin.
2025, the 14th pick.
Mm-hmm.
A 2026 first round
Yeah.
pick. That's a swap. And 2027 Chicago first round pick. And the second pick, and y'all get Milwaukee's pick this year.
Okay. I think the picks are good. I do think Stephon Castle is a part of that future.
Right.
And I know people are like, you can't get Giannis without giving up Stephon Castle. But yeah, they also said we couldn't get De'Aaron Fox without giving up Stephon Castle.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this. Y'all got away with that. It's not gonna be happening twice. Not with
It's gonna
Giannis.
happen because and I will say this. A lot of it depends, right, on how open Giannis really is. Because what helped us with De'Aaron Fox, right, is that he said, I want to go to San Antonio. I don't want to go anywhere else. That's where I want to go. And so that really handicapped the offers that the Kings could get for him.
But it's
Does
a
Giannis do
difference
something
though, Trey.
similar?
It's a
Huh?
difference though. It's a difference though. Because they still got back a good player, not from y'all, but they got
Yeah,
Zach LaVine back.
they got Zach
If it's just
LaVine.
a one-on-one trade, the Bucks are not taking back. They're not taking a trade back where they're not getting significant value. Now look, mind you,
I'd give them
if
Devin
they
Vassell.
okay,
I'd give them Devin Vassell,
yeah,
Keldon Johnson, and picks. Like I might keep the second overall pick, but like the 14 is yours. The next 2 or 3 drafts are yours because
and
I
I'm
think when the
putting this
Spurs
up.
get rid of, if the Spurs give up, I think about 5 picks to get Giannis, they'll still have about 3 first-round picks. That's just how many first-round picks they have.
All right, so
Um,
Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson, it doesn't work by like 0.1. You could throw in probably let's see if it works when you throw in Julian Champagne. No, it
maybe.
still fails because it's on the second. So you'll have to make up a little bit of money for that.
Yeah, we'll figure out some money.
Yeah,
But I
so
just think for all intents and purposes, it looks like that Stephon Castle is a part of that future, largely in part because Wimby wants him as a part of that future too. And that's kind of where it is, where
I
I
I
think
get it.
I think you'll have to part with some players. Like I do. Like I think it's being naive to think that we can totally fleece the
What you
Bucks the way we
is
fleece the Kings.
you try to part with the pre-Wimby Spurs. That ain't
What,
gonna get it done.
that's giving you players.
Vassell,
That's
Keldon
giving you
Johnson, unless
that's
it's
giving
that
you two
second pick.
20 point. I'm giving you
No,
two
no,
20 point per
no,
game
no.
scores and picks. Like
In
you're
the
not about to
pitching.
get Stephon Castle.
Keldon
Like
Johnson is not a 20-point per game scorer. Devin Vassell is
yes
a
he is.
borderline. Devin Vassell is a borderline 20-point per game scorer. They're not 20-point scorers. Don't try to hype them
They
up because
are.
they're on the Spurs. They are not.
Before last season, Keldon Johnson averaged over 20 points per game scoring, bro. Like he's a 20
Inefficient.
point per game scorer.
Inefficient.
It
Kyle
doesn't
Kuzma
matter.
averaged 20 points for the Wizards.
You
Would you trade him for
when your
Giannis?
star player says they want to leave, I don't
But
know
he's
where we
not
get
saying
this
I want to
notion.
go there.
I don't know
He's
where we
not
get
saying I
this
want to go to the
notion that you're about
Spurs.
to like. I think this Rudy Gobert trade a few years ago has tainted people's minds of the going rate for a star player. It's like,
A
oh, Rudy
star
Gobert went for
30-year-old
this.
player,
A star player gonna
a
get that.
superstar 30-year-old player.
Yeah,
You're
that's
gonna
not
be
how it
surprised
works.
about what Giannis get. You're gonna be surprised about how big the Giannis trade will be. Even
I'm telling you.
even if he said, I want to go to these 3 teams, them 3 teams gonna cough it up.
And I'm gonna tell you
This
what
ain't
the
De'Aaron
Spurs
Fox, this
have.
ain't Rudy, this ain't
I'll
Kevin
tell you
Durant
this.
asking for another trade.
What the Spurs have that other teams don't have is the plethora of picks.
OKC
Like
has those picks.
us giving you picks allows you to actually be able to rebuild at some point,
Right.
as opposed to trying to get makeshift pieces. So I'm giving you the tools that you will need in a rebuild. Plus, I'm giving you two to three
Who are
players
spare parts?
that
Who are
can
spare
help
parts?
you compete. So you're not giving the New Orleans Pelicans the #1 overall pick next year.
Let me tell you this, Trey. They have teams with picks and and better players than Vassell and Johnson who can put out a better trade package. OKC can do that. Houston can do that. Atlanta
Maybe.
can do that. Multiple teams can do
Well,
that.
guess
Brooklyn
what?
can do that.
I wish them the best
Well,
in the
y'all,
Giannis sweepstakes.
man, y'all just I
But I
get
can tell you
Homer
right
fans
now,
hold on to players, hold on to young players who are not going to be as great as who y'all think they're
yeah,
going to be.
but I
Y'all
can
hold
tell
on
you
to
right now,
Stephon Castle too much. He's played 1
mhm,
year. Why are
doesn't
we
matter.
holding on to a rookie?
Rookie of the year, De'Aaron
Oh
Fox,
Lord,
Stephon Castle, and Wemby will be
and
San
Giannis.
Antonio Spurs next year. Jeremy Sohan can probably be gone, which I don't think he's going to be gone, but he could possibly be gone. But Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, they're going to be gone. And a good part is they're not expensive. Like they're not expensive, and they're not about
For
to
a
have a
reason,
payday anytime soon. Jalen
man.
Green,
You mean to tell
expensive.
me? No, you're not.
Jalen Green
Jalen
gonna be
Green on a
expensive.
$32 million contract that just kicks in this year.
That's expensive. That's expensive for his
Expensive. Devin
for this
Vassell makes $29 million. Who
less
better
less
player?
than that. Less than that.
Who
They
a better
have
player?
favorable and tradable contracts. Like to where you I'm giving you guys where hell you can let them play for you for a year and you can flip them again for more picks. You get a Jalen Green, you're gonna have to keep him. You get
No, you don't. You can
a
trade
Chet
Jalen
Holmgren, you
Green
keeping him. You're not
because
flipping Chet Holmgren, you keeping
he's
him.
better than Devin Vassell.
No, no, you don't have
No.
to keep them. You don't have to keep them. Like, what we doing? Who like
Our
if
next, our next
OKC?
up.
I'm gonna say this: if OKC says we're gonna give y'all picks and we're gonna give you J Dub and Chet Holmgren, you
No,
won.
no,
There you go. Congratulations,
they won't do that.
congratulations,
They won't do that. They're
congratulations.
gonna say we're gonna give you Isaiah Hartenstein picks and check and probably something else to make the money fit us
Hang
again.
up. They gonna hang up. They gonna
Say,
hang up
who
because
gonna hang up? The
we're gonna say
Bucks?
Chet ain't finished it yet. They're gonna say Chet haven't finished the season yet with y'all. We want that guy. We want the guy on the perimeter
Chet ain't what?
that's gonna get us some buckets.
You know, Chet played 82 games his first year. What are you talking about?
Chet didn't play 82 games. His
Chet
one
played
got hurt his
83
rookie
games
year.
last
He didn't
year.
play his
He
rookie
got
year.
yeah, his rookie year. The rookie year he didn't play. The year he came back, he played 82 games. What you
You
talking
sure
about?
about that? You sure about that?
Let me pull this up, man.
Go pull that up.
You
Go pull
say he
that up.
played Chet Holmgren games played. Let me pull this up before we get out of here. Games played. 114 games. Pull up the. What year? 2024.
That would have been 23-24. His sophomore year that they counted as a rookie year.
Yeah, don't play with Chet, man. Come on, pull up. Because I remember him tweeting. He said, "Damn, it's tough out here." Come on, where we at? Damn. Stats. All right, regular season. 82 games played, 23 and 24 season.
Stand
82.
corrected.
Don't stop
Well, he
playing
missed
on
games
Chet.
this year.
Hey, he missed
He
games
missed
this
games
season.
this year.
He definitely
So
did. He only played
you missed
32
your rookie
games this year.
season, and then you missed
Yeah,
games this year.
yeah.
And
But we know
look,
he could have played his rookie
you
season.
7-footers with lower body injuries. It never bodes well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's talk about Wemby.
And look, and keep in mind, this is Chet as virtually a role player. Like he haven't
Right.
been asked to take on that load.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta take that into account too. It's like the same thing I was scared about with AD and Kyrie. Like you asking them to take on a certain load, given their injury history, is not gonna bode well for them. So like they gonna probably ask for they at least gonna ask for J Dub. They're gonna ask for J Dub, just like
Yeah,
they're gonna
that's
ask
their right
for
to. They
they're gonna
have
ask for
to.
Jalen Green and my boy in the post. They're gonna
And
ask
they're
for
gonna
him.
ask for Stephon Castle,
And they're gonna
which
ask for
is
Stephon Castle
which
and they're
is
gonna
the
and
which is Stephon Castle out of all the players we named is the worst player out of all those players we named.
maybe because
Chet,
he's just coming off his
J
rookie year.
Dub,
Or
Jalen
upside,
Green.
but upside, I don't know. What he brings on the defensive end or offensive end, yeah, I don't know. We gonna see. But
I get it. I get
the
it. I
Spurs
get
gonna
where
hang
you're at
up,
as a homer.
and what they gonna say is, yeah, we missed out on Giannis,
But
but
what?
hey, KD, we ain't got to give up a lot for you. Come on through, come
Hey,
on and play,
you know KD
come
ain't
on and
gonna
play,
lie.
come
Yeah.
on. We gonna give
I
Keldon,
really
we gonna give we gonna give Devin Vassell
mm-hmm.
and some picks to
I'll give 2 players to the Suns. I can
Phoenix.
see that happening. I can see that
So
happen for KD because KD ain't gonna go for nothing this year. I
yeah,
can see
no.
Houston trading for him. I can see one of you guys, whoever don't get Giannis. No, nobody getting traded for until Giannis don't get that.
But
Nobody
part of
getting
me,
traded for.
I ain't gonna lie though. Like we doing all this thing, this trade and stuff with Giannis. I think Giannis gonna pull a Miles Garrett, bro. Like I feel
Well, he can't get a raise.
like he can't get a raise, but they gonna figure something out.
You
Like
think they're
they're
gonna
gonna be
give him
like,
some
you know
stake in the
what?
team?
They're gonna be like, you know what, bro? We gonna figure out a way to just get you help. Like we gonna figure it out. And he
We
gonna be
gonna trade
like,
for somebody.
yeah, yeah, I love Milwaukee, you know, all that type of BS.
Mhm.
Team loyalty. Like I can see him doing what Dame did. Like Dame left Portland maybe 2 or 3 years too late in my
Yes,
mind. And I can see
he did.
Giannis doing that, leaving Milwaukee 2 or 3 years too late. Because
I
this
ain't
is
gonna
the
lie.
prime time. Like you got OKC that's ready to win, obviously. You got Houston that's ready to win. Clearly, the Spurs at least want to take that leap and get ready to win. And
They
I
definitely
want
be
to say
running to win if
Miami
y'all
ready
get
to win, but
Giannis.
I don't know what Miami really. I don't know what Miami really doing. I
Miami
really
always
don't.
willing. They always ready to win. I'll say that. They never like tanking. So if there's
Yeah,
somebody out there, they always looking for somebody. They just don't have the assets that I see
yeah.
to get them. But all those other teams, they're ready to win, man. And if the Spurs get them, they definitely gonna be ready to win.
And shit,
When
we
they
not
get
even talking about Golden State, right? Like
yeah,
they
Golden
just
State.
They just the quiet storm. Like that was remember there used to be a lot of traction with Giannis getting traded to Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
Let me
got
tell
Jonathan Kuminga, they got Moses Moody, they
and
got
John,
Pick.
and we're gonna see what happened with John. We're gonna have a free agent well like a little trade free agent show
Mhm.
because Jonathan Kuminga. We'll see what happens with him because obviously him and Kurt do not see eye to eye, and he's a restricted free agent, so they're gonna be able to match. And Brooklyn might throw some money at him, so we'll see. But one more question for you before we get out of here: would you trade um, Jalen Brown and Peyton Pritchard two first, two two first round picks for Giannis?
Brown the Celtics?
Yeah.
No, no,
If
no.
you're the
I
Celtics,
mean, no. I mean, I can't even get anything out of this year. I mean, Jason Tatum's out the rest of the whole season. It's kind of a wash for me. So I don't even think I can get that trade done. I mean, Milwaukee would run to the post, like, be like, yeah, get this to the league office. But I don't even think Giannis would take that. Um,
well, go to the Celtics.
Go to the Celtics, not without a Jason Tatum. Because, like, you
Well, it's
essentially,
1 year.
yeah, but like a year can change a lot. Like, think of the load that you put on Giannis' body for a whole season.
Well,
That's
they still
probably
got
one
a
of the
good
reasons why he
team.
partially trying to get out of. That's why he's trying to get out of Milwaukee,
They still got
passively,
good
passive
parts. They got
aggressively.
Derek White, Porzingis, Drew Holiday. If they stay, they got good parts
Yeah,
around them if he wants to put it together. But that was just
maybe.
something I was throwing. That was just something I'm throwing around. Like what is a good enough player that the Bucks would take for Giannis?
Right.
We know AD was for Luca. They got AD, even though it was an
Yeah.
enclosed deal. So I'm looking at like who is the best player they can
Yeah,
get for
that's
Giannis who is
fair.
on the market? So
Yeah, like I wouldn't say that's a good trade idea. I wouldn't say that's an unfair trade. Like
yeah, I'm
I think
like,
Milwaukee gets another building piece around them.
yeah.
Jalen used to be the guy. I think Giannis at least goes to a good structure, knowing that
Mm-hmm.
hey, this year we can at least compete for the playoffs. Like we
Right.
be given the structure, but we're not going to win the championship this year. Everything's gonna be relying on JT coming back from the Achilles. I will say, if I'm the Celtics, I'm exploring trades for Jalen Brown
Mm-hmm.
and some of these other guys because I do think you got to start to move off of some guys. I wouldn't
Yeah.
completely make next year a wash, but you possibly could. Like I think partially because I don't know who's like the guy in the NBA draft. Like this, if this was a draft where Wemby was coming out, Cooper Flag was coming out, LeBron James was coming out,
Trade everybody,
like
huh?
I'm being shameless. Like
Right.
Jalen
Drew Holiday,
gone,
you
gone.
gone. Chris
Derek
you
White,
gone.
like I might just keep Derek White. Derek White
Yeah,
gonna be my best player next year.
Derek White gonna be there. He ain't going nowhere. He the one who most save him, but that's why I was just throwing
Like,
something out like that. But yeah,
yeah,
obviously people gonna be on the move, and I'm just thinking of the best players who you would trade for Giannis. But if I'm Dallas, I would definitely trade that number one pick for Giannis, that number one pick, and we're gonna make the salaries match with Daniel
no,
Gafford and PJ
I'm
Washington.
I'm gonna ask you something.
Mhm.
Because I mean, you a LeBron fan, but by the fact
Yes.
that you a Lakers guy, right?
Yes.
Because that's his team right now. What if Luca says, "I'm not signing the extension"? Right? I don't want to commit to that. I don't know what LeBron's future is. I don't know none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you generate a package that sends a Luca to Denver, and maybe you get a Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. in that somehow?
Would I do that to get him with
Yeah.
Jokic?
Would you consider it?
If I'm the
Like
Lakers,
if you're the Lakers, I'm playing from the Lakers standpoint.
okay, I'm good.
Would you
If
would
you're
you
the Lakers,
consider?
okay, I'm gonna get you some more, baby. Okay. But I would definitely consider that trade, especially if Lucas said he's not resigning, because that's a hell
Okay.
of a package. That's a hell of a package. That's a lot of money for Michael Porter and Jamal Murray for some timely players, but that's probably be probably like something the best they'll get if Luke especially says, I want to go play with Jokic.
Okay.
So because them could easily say like, hey, you're gonna take Michael Porter Jr. and you can get Russell Westbrook and a couple of picks because Luka won't come here. No, then Jamal Murray, that's just a icing on the cake for the Lakers. Now that'll be bad for LeBron, even though LeBron probably hey man, I might just go back to
Yeah.
Cleveland and try to win me a little fifth ring with Donovan Mitchell and them over there. But hey, the Lakers will have to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Luka says that. Hopefully, Lucas stays with the Lakers though, because I like to see what he does post LeBron. Even though I'm a LeBron fan, I like to see how they surround the team with him. I'm not before Luke got traded to the Lakers. You know me, I wasn't too big on Luka's style of play. Still not.
Right.
I don't think you got this. How I was with Harden. I don't think you can win playing like
In
that.
championship.
I still don't think you can win playing like that. But hey, we're gonna see how it prevails. And you got to really put like a perfect team around him, and he has to give some effort. But that's what I think. Would you do that?
I consider it because part of my mind is, unlike most players that get traded to the Lakers, Luka never asked for it.
Right.
And so there's really nothing tying him to the Lakers. And part of me
keep moving.
and part of me kind of feel like he want to get back to Texas, whether that's Rockets, whether that's Spurs. But Jokic is bestie. Like, I could see them figuring something out. So,
All right, we're gonna see how I go. But Luka, I think almost 98% he gonna be signing an extension with the Lakers this offseason. But the Bayou Ballers podcast, y'all, pop up episode. We talking about a lot, man. We got a lot of news coming, playoffs. My boy Trey got the Knicks winning. I got the Pacers winning. He got you said Timberwolves in 7?
OKC in 7.
OKC in 7. I got OKC in 5. So we both have. Oh no, we have OKC in the finals, and we both have the Eastern Conference, our different teams in the finals. So we'll see how that goes. And when the finals comes, we'll predict that as well. But y'all have a good night. We'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.